When it comes to getting down to business, nothing's more important than the numbers. And I don't know if you know this, Victor, but when I started on YouTube, that was like my third video was about how I price my vinyl because it's very important. How you guys doing? My name is Stan Banks from T-Shirt Side Hustle, and I help people start T-shirt businesses from home. Where are we at? And today, I'm here with Victor from Omni Print International, and we're about to run some numbers and see if I can afford to get into DTG, or even if you can afford to, right after the intro. Okay, let's jump right into it. But before we do, you guys know what I need you to do. I need you to like this video. I need you to comment, subscribe, do a lot of good stuff because I make videos like this all the time. And yes, all the time. And today, like I said in the intro, I'm here with Victor. We're doing a part 2 now. You got some generalized information on what you need to consider when getting into DTG. First and foremost, let them know who you are and what you're all about.
Hello guys, my name is Victor Pena. I'm the founder and CEO of Omni Print International here in California. Our mission is to create a huge community of entrepreneurs that are winning with print on demand. So today we're gonna do just that with some numbers.
All right, Vic, walk me through this, right? We got that big number at the top, around like $20,000 that we need to invest. What does that look like numbers-wise as far as payments go, and how do I get that process started?
Yeah, so number one, you're always gonna see, obviously, we're not a bank, so make sure that you get your payments figured out. Typically what we're seeing is anywhere from $400 to $600 is what we'll see as a payment. So since you have the best handwriting,
I don't know about
you get to put that up on the board.
So you got 4. This is my payment.
Yep.
All right. So from that, and obviously we're looking at about what as a total setup for the equipment with the machine, pre-treat,
yep,
and the heat press.
Yeah, exactly. And that includes like shipping and your whole kit. If you're getting all the stuff that you need, you're more in the 600 range. That's everything that you need to get started, even like the work software to help you get online.
Got you. So now we need to start to understand the breaking down of what it costs. I like to say what you charge is not as important as how much something costs you to make, because if you say I'm just going to charge $20, but it's costing you $16 or $17 to produce a shirt,
yep,
it makes no sense for you to be charging that amount of money. But on the other hand, if you know what it costs you, you can decide if you can work on the numbers. If somebody has a budget, if you can fit it in based off of what it costs you to make the actual garment, between the shirt, the materials, the labor, and all of that good stuff. So talk me through how I can break down the cost of a t-shirt using a DTG machine.
Yeah, so there's 3 main components that brings your production cost. So you're going to have inks.
Right.
So put inks down.
Ink.
Yep, you're going to have pre-treatment.
Pre-treat.
And you're going to have labor.
And labor. All right. So I like to work from the worst case scenario,
yep,
right? So we're talking about a shirt. I got the biggest print, the most colors on a black garment. Let's talk that kind of shirt. What are we looking at for ink?
Yeah, so in our software, it actually tells you exactly for the image how much that's going to be. So a black shirt, you're looking at $2 to $3.
That's it?
Yep.
$2 to $3.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the high number, like the worst case scenario. We got $3 for the ink on the full. What size print is that?
It's 22 by 12
Okay.
is pretty much your biggest print size, right?
All right. And before we can print on a black shirt, we got a pre-treat. So
Yep.
what are we looking at for pre-treat?
You're about 25 cents on a coverage.
Okay, we got 25 cents. And now labor. A lot of people out here don't include any labor costs,
Yep,
whether that's a pressing fee or anything like that. What do you suggest somebody be charging for labor?
Always, even if you're doing the work, guys, always make sure that you're charging for labor. An easy way to look at it is if you had an operator do it, how much would that cost you per hour? So if you're looking at maybe 12 to 15 shirts an hour, depending on your state, what are you paying somebody? Maybe $15?
15 bucks would be nice.
Yeah, it's a decent pay for somebody that's printing, right?
Yep.
So I would add $1. If you don't do that, then it's going to be super difficult for you to scale once you have too much production. How are you going to afford to bring somebody in?
So you definitely got to include the labor cost. So we're looking at $1 per shirt on that.
Yep.
All right. So to total this up right now, we got to add a shirt in there.
Yeah, let's add a blank.
Yep. So I would like to go with a nice quality blank, like a $3 blank from American Apparel Next Level.
Yep.
One of my partners out here, Circle Clothing, who's making some great shirts, but a very new company. So we got a shirt, and we're looking at $3. All right. So on the math right now, we got 3 and 3. That's 6 plus 1 is 7. We got $7.25 for the worst case scenario. Now, what should I be charging for that custom garment?
On a dark shirt, if you're doing wholesale, so there's two different things. Wholesale, the minimum I would want to be charging is about $15.
Okay.
Wholesale.
Okay.
And remember, we're talking on demand, right? What is it going to cost you? What minimums are you going to say that you have somebody, right? With DTG, there's really no minimums, but it doesn't mean you can't tell somebody, hey, I need you to do, I don't know, certain amount of shirts per month, per week with me so that I can give you this rate. So that's what you would do wholesale for low quantities. Retail, you would be somewhere in the 29 range.
Gotcha. So $30 retail.
Yeah. Maybe you're discounting at 25, $24.99 if you have a deal online or something.
I think it's super interesting because I kind of like operate on these. I think people need to have multiple price sheets based on how the customers come in, what they're requiring, and what their intended use for the product is too. I think at the wholesale range, I tell a lot of people, or printing shirts for people and stuff, if somebody's gonna take this and resell, they're now like a salesman for you, right? You got the equipment, they don't know anything about production, but that person now becomes a sales rep for you, and they end up going out, bringing you, let's say they bring you 10 or 15 shirts a week. That can end up being business that you didn't have to go work for, but can pay your rent. And now the business that you add on top of that is your money in your pocket and different things like that. So you got that wholesale customer, but then you got that retail customer who's coming in to get their kid's birthday shirt, to get whatever the case is, some special occasion shirt or something like that. So you definitely need to have multiple price sheets. So let's run some numbers to get the profit now. I like to keep it simple, man. I'm just going to cross out the 25 cents and make it 7. So here we'll be doing about $8 in profit. And then on the retail level, we'll be at about $23 in profit. So now what we got to do next is we got to divide. Let's go with the high end for the 600 with $20 a shirt in profit. We're doing about 30 shirts a month. That seems really doable if you have a customer base. So in this case, we'll need to do 30 shirts. We'll take care of our payment. I don't look some of a bad hand right here. There we go, right? And then if you're doing a wholesale, obviously on wholesale, it's about volume. You want that person to bring you a lot of shirts into your business. So we got 600 divided by 8, 75 shirts. So it's two different business models here. And one of the things that I like to say is when you're working on the wholesale and the retail options, you actually get this person to keep your machine running. A lot of these companies, screen printers, talk about it a lot, like contract printing and doing things like that. It's the same because when I got my retail customers, it's inconvenient for me to do this. But when I don't have anything, my machine's not running, it's not making any money. This is gonna add in there, and it's not gonna give me a lot of profit up front, but it keeps my machine running, keeps me making money, and I got some funds coming in. So it doesn't seem like DTG is actually not affordable when you look at it like this, right? Like you got the customer base, and one of the things that I tell people also is like when they get looking at whether or not they need a new piece of equipment or something like that, is like start with outsourcing it before you actually jump in, and then look at how many shirts you're outsourcing. If you can find somebody in your area. We had a guy that did DTG for us, but he only printed on white shirts. He didn't do any black. You can use that as a gauge to figure out, well, if I'm sending out 20 shirts a week or I'm sending out maybe 30 shirts a month, if I brought this machine in-house, would I be able to add more business or not? Or what would that process look like? Is that something that you think will work?
Dude, all the time. So every time somebody says, hey, you know what? I don't have business yet. I haven't started yet. It's something that we actually recommend, right? Because the point is, when you get your first order, you get your first dollar, you know how you're going to flow through this process, right? Doing this when you already invested in a machine is more difficult to start a customer base. So if you can outsource, it makes it super easy for you to do this math because you're saying, hey, you know what? How much $15 am I paying someone when my cost can go down to 7?
Right.
And now you have that spread. And that actually makes it doable for you. So it's a good way to start. Really calculate once it's time for you to take the plunge, when your delivery times start going wide, when they start raising the rates, or maybe the quality control is not there. So those are the only things that you want to tweak. If you're not happy with the quality and delivery time, it's time for you to bring it in-house.
Got you. So we looked at the numbers now. I like to end off with a question that's going to lead into something totally different. And this comes down to, we got our printer running, everything's running smooth. On the back end of running this stuff, getting it all out, how is maintenance affect in your labor and all of these different things? And how hard is maintenance? I know that's one of the fears of people when it comes to getting into DTG. How does that affect the business, and what does that cost look like?
Yeah, so maintenance is super important, right? So you always want to factor that in. Number one, do the maintenance, right? There's digital printers, doesn't matter what it is, you have to make sure that you're doing your basic maintenance. We did a few different things on our printer, like the wet cap system, circulating the white ink so that your print heads don't dry up, stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that you don't need to do it every day when you shut down. Make sure that all that stuff is done, and then you're factoring in every year, how much is that going to cost me? I would even say, if you can't factor another $1 into maintenance in your shirt, you're not charging enough, because that way you're setting that aside if anything happens. We do cover the machine's warranty for 2 years. We even cover the print head for a year. If you have a short, if you have something else that happens, you have an employee, they jam up the machine, right? It's going to cost you money. Have that little that cushion, the idea that you're gonna need to invest in that. With any printer, I don't care if you're doing like vinyl printing, banners,
you need blades, and you need stuff all the time.
Yep.
You definitely want to make sure that you consider it. So I hope you guys take these numbers. I know the handwriting, we were going back and forth about who's
this
going to write.
is amazing. And if you guys like the handwriting, make sure you subscribe and like.
No question. So I hope you guys understand from this video how you can break down and figure out if DTG is actually something that you can get into cost-wise, if you can afford it. It doesn't look so bad when you break it down like this. And if you're already printing shirts and people are asking you for full color designs and different things like that, and you're hesitant about how you can produce it or what you can produce, start to take that mental note of how many of those people are asking for that type of work, so that you can see, hey, if I did have this machine in my business, this will actually stop allowing me to push money or push business away from myself, and I could bring this in-house and start off and be profitable with DTG. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got any comments or questions, put them down in the comment section below, and I'll make sure I check them out, and we can get some more content coming up here in the future. This has been your boy Stan Banks from T-Shirt Styles. We're here with Victor from Omni Freejet International. Peace.
Thank you, guys.